Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Nupehadda. Today I have a bit of a question for y'all. I want to know in y'all's opinion, and the comment section below will be unrestricted, so feel free to comment below and everything. But I have a question for you, and I'll give you my answer after I ask this question. If you play Pot of Desires and banish the 10 top cards from your deck face down in the banish zone, are you allowed to look at those cards? Because in the OCG, you are not permitted to do so. There are two reasons for this. One, it's classified as cheating. Because, let's just say these are the 10 cards that I banished from Pot of Desires. You're my opponent. Of course, you wouldn't be able to know what these cards are because you don't own this deck. But the thing of it is this. I myself would not know what cards were banished from the top 10 from my deck. It's true, I have public knowledge, or I should say private knowledge, of what the cards are because I built the deck. However, because of statistics, luck, and randomness, I don't know what those 10 cards are. So why do I have the right to look at the 10 bottom or 10 face down banished cards if I don't know what they are? I think the reason that the TCG did this is so that way people can look, the competitive people who apparently lack any form of honor, to allow them to see what they have and then formulate a plan. Because here's the thing, banishing cards is one thing. We know what they are because we see what happens to them. But when you banish face down, all you see is this. Even I see this. I don't know what these cards are when I banish them because they're from the top of the deck. They are not being searched. Thus, I don't have the right to know what they are. But the second part is because of honor. Regardless of what people believe about the OCG, there is one thing about them that separates us from the TCG and the OCG. The OCG plays about honor. They'll play powerful decks, sure, and they do have a crazy format over there, but they're always honorable about what they do. The TCG nowadays is not so much. They are, especially the high competitive people, they are disrespectful to their players. They'll bribe them to get on top and everything like that. And that's one of the other reasons why I retired, because I can't stand how the competitive market is anymore. Casual players are a lot better off because they're more friendlier, they're more willing to play and have fun with it and everything. And competitive markets has pretty much become political in a sense. Yu-Gi-Oh in itself has become more political from the competitive market. And that's something I just don't tolerate. I won't deal with it. I'll go to regionals and everything when people invite me, but I'm not going there for myself. I'm going there because someone invited me to have fun. And thus I'll have fun, unless of course I face against one of those jerk-offs on the competitive market. I've faced people like that before, actually, even at local regionals. Years ago, I faced actually a couple of top-tier players around the time when the Gold Sarcophagus, Crush Card Virus, and there was one other card I can't remember, were prize cards. And I was actually facing like some of the top competitors at a Columbus regional. And this is around the Teledad era, where Teledad was a big thing. Though I don't remember if that was the zombie Teledad era or when Teledads was just Teledads, where it just had free Dark Armed Dragons and you just swarm for game. I actually almost beated this guy if it wasn't for a bad ruling by a head judge, which I believe was incoherence with the player because they were part of the Upper Deck Entertainment team that pretty much are guaranteed to be top, but now Upper Deck Entertainment is gone. But for the shortest version of this is the OCG are more honorable when it comes to playing Yu-Gi-Oh, even in the competitive market. The TCG, however, have less desirable means and are more greedy. They are more ambitious, and some of them don't even have any self-respect anymore. So, but back into my question. Should you be allowed to know what these cards are if you play Pot of Desires? Because one, you don't know what these cards are. You know every card in your deck, hopefully. But if I asked you to not look at the cards, the 10 cards you banish, and tell me exactly what they are without looking at them, you couldn't. There's no physical way to doing that without flipping the cards over. So in my view, I'd rather have the ruling in the OCG when it comes to Pot of Desires, because here's the other thing. When you have access to the 10 cards that you're looking at and know what you banish, this allows you to change your strategy, because you have outside information of what you still have. And to my view, I mean, you're pretty much getting outside information. That's another form of cheating. Outside information is a sense of saying like a person is behind another player, like you. And the player says, well, he's got his third blue eyes, white dragon. That is outside information that will not only get that player probably kicked out, but now the player who did not know that, which is the opponent, now has another information, outside information, everything. That is pretty much ruins games. And something like Pot of Desires will always ruin games for more of the casual players. It is the status quo in that. Competitive people just won't care. They'll say, it's a pot of greed for us. Draw 2 cards, banish top 10. So what? And I get to look at them. Well, see, that's the thing. I don't classify anyone skilled for being able to look at cards that they should not have public knowledge of. If you have the right to look at the banish cards that are face down, why can't I? Why can I not be like, let me see what you banish? Because if I'm able to do this as an opponent to your Pot of Desires, know exactly what got banished, would you still face me? Some people are going to say yes, but if you really think about it, if I have the same knowledge as you have, then it's fair. Because by the logic the people in the TCG are making is that because it's no longer in the deck, it's public knowledge. If that's true, then I have the right as the opposite player to know exactly what those cards are, because it is public knowledge. And public knowledge is the knowledge that both players have at their disposal. So if someone asks you to show me the top 5 cards of your deck, of course you're going to tell them no, because that is not public knowledge. So in a sense, this face down cards is technically a deck. It's 10 cards, but a deck is a deck. So that's all I really have to say about that. And I know I'm going to get some hate for it, but you know what? I want to be honest with my players. I want to be honest with the people I play. I shouldn't have to play Pot of Desires and then look at the cards that I have and reformulate my strategy from the cards I have in my hand. That's just not fair. Because everything that Yu-Gi-Oh does when it comes to the game, except with Pot of Desires, it's some form of public knowledge. Pot of Desires does not do that. Currently in the TCG, public knowledge for the 10 banished piles is exclusively for the player who played it. So, with that said, I leave that question for y'all to answer for me. Thank you.